This is the brand new Marvel Legends Deluxe Retro Iron Man, and it just might be the best Iron Man Legends figure yet. Let's talk about it. As some of you may know, I absolutely love the retro card line from Marvel Legends. It's easily one of my favorite themes from Hasbro. Last year, there was a new addition to the lineup in the shape of that Toy Biz style packaging based on the 90s Iron Man animated series. The first entry to be made was War Machine, which reused the body mold from the deluxe version released in 2020. I was hoping they would eventually give Iron Man an independent line on the retro card, similar to what we see with Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, and this was a great surprise. With this reveal, many Legends collectors, myself included, wondered who else would be added to this card, and eventually we got our answer. Fast forward to Hasbro PulseCon 2022 during the Marvel Legends panel with Dwight, Dan, and Ryan. Several reveals are made, and then suddenly they drop the reveal of this bad boy. Modular Iron Man sporting that retro style I'm a sucker for. After placing my pre-order for this figure, it finally arrived for me to unbox and add it to my collection. My favorite aspect of the retro card line is how well it replicates the 90s style Toy Biz box art with perfection. Similar to the PulseCon 2021 exclusive Venom, this does come in a shipper box with custom box art teasing what's inside. On the inside of the box, you have the main box with modular Iron Man and another containing the plasma cannon. The back of the card features an overview of everything included, as well as the usual character summary. I'm so happy that Hasbro and Marvel Legends are releasing retro card figures still, especially going into this year with X-Men, but my main concern is how will this line continue to strive if they're pushing plastic-free packaging. The main feature of this box art and style is the plastic window that showcases the figure, and with this change, this kind of means that Hasbro might have to do away with the retro card line, but I'm hoping that won't be the case. Hopefully they'll find a way to keep this line going. When it comes to figures I collect, there are three main things that matter to me the most: detail, articulation, and accessories, which help add to the fun factor. The base figure you get after unboxing is a reuse of the same modular Iron Man armor released in the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave, but instead having a more ketchup and mustard color scheme, which seriously has me craving hot dogs right about now. With a side-by-side comparison, you'll see that this figure is a perfect recreation of the look seen in the comics and even looks like the one seen in the show, but with some slight differences. The obvious differences here between this figure and the show design are the shoulders, arc reactor shape, and of course no cell shading, which is fine by me for this suit. Getting a better look at the figure, I think that the sculpted details of the helmet and overall body turned out fantastic. The entire figure is made in this glossy plastic material that helps bring that shiny aspect to the suit. There's also a lot of texture in things like the suit's lines and muscular features all over. Iron Man also comes on an all pinless body, which essentially keeps the figure looking nice and clean. Another fun aspect of this figure's design is that it looks a lot like the modular Iron Man seen in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so if you're a fan of that game, this is a must-have in my opinion. On the Hasbro Post site, this figure is advertised as a deluxe figure, and I feel the accessories help justify that for sure. For starters, this Iron Man comes with two additional head portraits, one being a different helmet style with blue eyes instead of the red seen on the other helmet, and the second being a Tony Stark head rocking a sweet mullet. I'm really digging the look of Tony's head sculpt, especially with the design of the mullet, and I don't know if it's just me, but every time I look at the head, it kind of reminds me of El DeBarge. In addition to the fisted hands, he also comes with a pair of open hands that are great for poses with repulsor blasts, and a pair of gripping hands which are perfect for the main attraction of this figure. As I mentioned before, this figure does reuse the modular suit mold, but they modified the arc reactor as well to have a blast piece embedded in the chest, which is awesome. It comes in a soft translucent blue plastic with a frosted white color in the center. I wasn't expecting to see an accessory for this, but I'm so glad they included it. Using the same plastic, they also made another effect that fits on the fist and has a spiky blast look. It sort of reminds me of the move that Iron Man does in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as well. I think all of these accessories are fantastic, but at the same time, I would have appreciated them throwing in some repulsor blast effects made for the opened up hands. Last but not least, we have the massive plasma cannon, which I wasn't expecting the Legends team to include with this figure, but lo and behold, they made it happen. The cannon comes with a single blast piece to fit in the center port and a clear plastic stand that plugs into the handle. The main plastic is in a light gray color, but it also has some paint apps of dark gray and red for extra detail. Using either of the gripping hands, you can get Iron Man to pose with the cannon with help from the stand so he doesn't topple over. One thing I would have loved to see with this plasma cannon is the beam effect seen in Marvel vs. Capcom, but hopefully we'll see a customizer or someone in the community make one of these, whether it be 3D printing or however they design it. When it comes to the articulation on this figure, I think it's pretty solid considering the type of figure it is. The head has the usual 360-degree rotation, with a nice range of tilt going back for flight poses, and same looking down. Moving down to the rest of the body, there's full rotation in the shoulders and biceps, plus the arms lift up pretty well. There's also double jointed elbows, wrist swivel, and the ability to tilt the hands up and down or back and forth depending on which ones you use. As for the ab crunch, you can tilt them back and forth like you should expect with a suit like this, and they added waist swivel so you can really maximize the look of the poses. Both of the legs kick out pretty far, and the same goes for kicking the legs up. You also have thigh swivel, double jointed knees, boot swivel, and ankle rockers for adjusting the feet as you see fit. I almost wouldn't have noticed that the boots had swivel in them had it not been for me messing around with the legs, which I think is great because it shows just how well the articulation blends in with this figure. With all of this range of motion and the accessories included, I think you'll have a blast when it comes to posing this figure for display, or of course taking some photos of it in action. I'm excited to see what people do with this figure in the community when it comes to toy photography for sure. So in the end, is the deluxe retro Iron Man worth adding to your collection? I certainly think so. Taking everything into account that this figure brings to the table, I don't see any reason to hate it. It's a solid figure with some solid accessories included, and for the price, I think it's overall a fair deal. I know Mafex released an Iron Man of their own around the same time that also came with a plasma cannon, but if you aren't looking to drop $150, you could save yourself a little over $100 and still get a great experience out of this one. Also, with as much as this figure reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom, I would love to see Marvel Legends do a lineup for that game. That was something Toy Biz released in 1999, and Marvel Legends did drop some for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but in the 3 3/4 scale rather than 6 inches. But I want to know, what are your thoughts on this figure? Let me know in the comments below and let's talk about it. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the Geek Effect for more action figure goodness. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out. I came out from the bottom and into the top.